Hey people, hope you're all doing good. This is going to be the first video of a format that I am trying out. I want to have a chat once a month with a guitar player or a musician that I really like, that inspires me when I listen to them I listen to them and I want to start playing guitar myself. People like that I'm going to have an interview with, and this is the first video of this kind. My first guest, I'm honored to say, is Euge Valovirta. If you don't know Euge Valovirta, then how dare you? This guy is awesome. He's got a really unique touch in his right hand, I find. He's like a power, as he said himself, he's a blues guitar player on steroids. I think he's a little bit more than just that. In this interview, or in this little chat, we're talking about everything God and world, butterflies before having gigs, just how it is to be a musician in these days, having a YouTube channel. He has a YouTube channel of his own. Go and check that one out. Awesome guy. I loved listening to him, and I loved having this interview and this little chat with him. Without any further ado, here it is. Have fun.
Are back to kind of normal.
Okay. So the way that I discovered you is by YouTube, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just, I was blown away and inspired by your playing. I started my YouTube journey back in 2016, and I took the first video that I did back then, I took it off. And it took another 4 because I didn't want to talk in front of the camera, and I was like, I don't know, just too shy. And then when you started doing your videos, I was like, no, man, now it's the time.
Yeah, because when I started to do, because I've had my channel for a while and it was really occasional stuff, like just
I've seen that.
iPhone and stuff, and then when COVID hit, I started to put a bit more effort, but I mean, when I watch the older videos now, I get a little bit like, ooh, well, you gotta start somewhere.
Well, I guess the old videos, they're not gonna get traffic, so you don't have to. Don't have to worry about them.
And I think it's cool because I've had friends that I have encouraged to start but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. I said, hey, dude, look at my old videos. I didn't know a shit. I just did it. And the only way you learn to do it is by doing it, and you get better and better. Because I've never filmed myself. I've never used editor software.
Yeah.
The only thing I knew was the audio, and then you learn, and that's the process.
Well, it seems to have become a thing that as a musician you just kind of have to do, I feel. At least that's what so many people have just started. I don't know if you're familiar with that whole Nashville music scene.
Yeah,
it seems to me that all those sessions players started a YouTube channel.
I think it's a way to reach people, and it's a way to earn a little bit money with the monetization, and also promote your stuff, because I've got a lot of especially mixing jobs just by you. But hey, you who mixes your stuff, whatever. Me, because I've mixed my own stuff previously, but now because of the YouTube, people are like, oh, you can actually mix too. So I've last week I mixed a Swedish thrash band. Next week, or when the tour is done, I'm mixing a band from I think it was Sri Lanka or somewhere. All over the world. I mix an LA rock band's EP, and that's more work. So I think it's you don't need to hire a publisher or marketing company to promote. You can do it yourself.
You can be completely independent, and I mean, that's the thing that's been changing the most in the music industry, is that there's just a lot more independence for the artist.
Yeah, and you are your own man, that you can do. Anybody can put their music out to Spotify. There's this DistroKid and these services. I think it's just fantastic. The hard thing is because there's so much stuff that how people will find you, and I think YouTube is a good thing, because I think my solo stuff I reach more people that, you do this solo albums, the Cyhra, my main band. Many people have commented that they have found Cyhra through my YouTube channel. And they're
like me, for example.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
and it's awesome. I actually just listened to a solo work of yours on Spotify. I think it's called The Boogeyman.
Yeah.
From 2022, I think you released it.
Yeah.
It's a couple of years ago. It's pretty awesome. And then I went back to 2006 or 7. You put out an album called Guitar Heroes.
Yeah, that was released by Sony Music.
Ah, okay.
Long time ago.
But you did that because that's fucking awesome.
I was the Guitar Heroes. I was one of the players.
Okay.
It was produced by a Finnish producer, a good friend of mine called Nino Laurenne, who owns a Sonic Pump Studios in Helsinki, big studio where there's many international bands and many bands I've recorded there. Well, for example, that album. So that was by Sony Music Finland, and Nino was the producer, and he just asked, us Finnish guitar heroes. It was me, Aleksi Laiho, Emppu from Nightwish, and then we all wrote a song, and then Kai Hahto from Nightwish played the drums on my track, and Laura from Stratoparty played the bass. So I was just a musician there.
Well, it's awesome. One thing I noticed about your playing style, obviously, I can hear Van Halen in there. I can hear, the Zakk Wylde thing happening in your playing, but it seems to be your right hand. There's something special happening with the way that you strike your strings that makes. I would say that Euge Valovirta, like, that's your thing. It's just the way that you strike with the right hand. Maybe that's for every musician, but I think especially in your case, maybe it's just my observation. I don't know.
I think you're right, because the way I practiced and the way I still do, and mostly the way when I play, I don't use any amps or anything. I just play with my guitar acoustically.
Yeah.
And then if you want to have those pinches, the sustain, you kind of need to hit certain way. And for example, when I bend, I always hit all the strings. Then I'm muting a lot with my left hand. So that comes from that kind of. So you need
exactly.
Then when it sounds good without any amplification, anything, then when you just put it to an amplifier, it's gonna sound good, just louder. So I think that's part. And I like. Stevie Ray Vaughan is one of my all-time favorites. You don't necessarily hear it that much. Well, even though I think I'm just a blues player on steroids. But Stevie's right hand, the way it comes from there, kind of
right. Yeah. Now that you're saying it, I can hear that.
You hit all the strings, and actually, I was just recording a project where I recorded DI tracks, and I sent them to the project, and I listened to my DI tracks. I was like, man, that's not clean. I mean, it's played well, but it's a lot of this stuff.
It's exactly what I mean. Yeah,
all the strings, and then that's where the kind of sound comes out. That certain, because there is that, but it's so fast that you don't necessarily. When it's amplified, you just hear this kind of certain thing. But then when you listen to the DIs, there's a lot of it's not clean.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I watched a recent video of yours. You were doing a rig rundown, and you explained that you went from completely analog to finally you went to digital. And before that, you were using the blue guitar stuff.
Yeah. It wasn't completely analog. The last time I played completely analog was probably 2017 with Shining. I used 800 cabinet, but the way I ran the blue guitar was I had the blue guitar, then it went to this
speaker simulator.
Speaker simulator, new Iconoclast, which is digital, and then it went to PA. And I had my old pedals with me, and it's an old rig, the pedal board. Some of the pedals are from 90s, so it was just starting to crack out. My was always plugging cables in and out and spraying them and okay, where's the noise coming? And then I tried the Quad Cortex, and I was like, man, these are getting better, because I had tried Quad Cortex a few years ago and those, but I just didn't feel there was something latency or whatever. But I think now with the new update, I was just like, man, this is like playing with a real amp. So I switched in the middle of the tour, just used the stock stuff there, and I was like, fucking hell, works. And my guitar tech was like, thank you. You don't know how easy it is now, because you just plug a couple of cables, you have everything. I was like, well, I can imagine. I kind of know, because I've been a guitar tech too. And then when I get home, I profiled all of my amps and my overdrive pedals. So now I have all of my amps with me. Like, I'm here in Finland, I have the Quad Cortex, and I have all of my amps, the Bad Boy, my 5150s, and the captures they're
pretty
really
indistinguishable. I mean, for me at least, like, I don't hear the difference.
I noticed that the captures have a bit more low end and kind of lower mids.
Okay.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Man, you have to really have really fine ears, because I don't hear that.
Yeah, I felt that there was a little bit, but I mean, it's not meaningful. And I think
that's the thing, right?
Yeah, I think in like Marshall JSM 800, what I've been actually using now, the Bad Boy, I think it's actually good, because it brings a little bit more woof, because the amp, as you know, 800s, they don't have that much bottom. They're really tight.
Yeah.
So I think that, especially when using in-ears, I hate to say, but I think the capture sounds a bit better.
I mean, there's no shame. There's no shame in that.
Yeah, in-ears, and then you have this chunky sound, and then it's up to the front of house whether he feels that all this low end. He's the mixing engineer, when we play live. So I just dial a sound that I feel it's good for me, and that works with the band and everybody else, because we all use in-ears, and then it's up to the front of house. So that's been a kind of game changer. I mean, I love the Blue Guitar Amp 1. It's analog amp. I profiled that too, because it's such a great amp. And I actually have that on one of my presets, because it's fantastic amp. But now I can
I have one too right here.
Oh, yeah. And now with the Quad Cortex, I profiled everything. So I can just, maybe today I'll play with the Blue Guitar, or maybe I'll play with the JSM 800. Or like, okay, today's a 5150 day. Like, because, I mean, they are not, honestly, tube amps. The biggest difference comes when you change the speaker or cabinet.
Right, yeah.
It's a high gain amp. Some may have more this, more that. When I play, it still sounds like me. But when you change the cabinet, that's how you really can change the sound. So I'm using the same cabinets there. What comes as stock, what I have. There's a Marshall vintage cabinet. There's a greenback cabinet. And there's an oversized Mesa, which has been my favorite. And I actually, a couple of weeks ago, I found oversized Mesa cabinet from '94. It's amazing. I bought it.
94, okay.
It's one of the first ones. Now I know what's the hassle with.
So you still keep collecting gear?
Not collecting, but I couldn't miss that because it was just like, because I've used the oversized recto on many albums with my Marshall cap, but I've never owned one. It's always been in the studio, and I've always like, someday it would be nice to have. And then this thing came, and I was like, hell. So now I guess at home I still use real amps, my real cabinets, because that's the way for home studio. Yeah, that's the way I always work. That's the fastest workflow to me. Just to tweak the amps, put the microphones, and then when I'm going out on tour, I just capture those and off we go.
How did you get started playing guitar, like in your early years?
I started with drums when I was 12, and I practiced quite a lot in my school. But then my parents said that we're not gonna buy your drums for the apartment. If you want to play, you have to come up with something else. Then I told our music teacher that, I don't know, I want to play something. And they said, have you tried guitar? Not really. And then she taught me a few chords and stuff, and she said, you're learning pretty fast. I mean, so I was like, yeah, I kind of like this. So that was, because I was a hockey player. I still am a hockey player. So that was just a hobby I just wanted to do without any goals. I just wanted to play and learn. So I learned the Metallica stuff. And then when I was about 20 years old, a guy at a local music store here in Helsinki said that, you have some talent. Have you tried like really learning to play guitar?
Okay.
I was like, yeah, sure. So then he gave me lessons. He actually produced my first band, Godspeed's first 2 albums. And then I really started to study theory and technique. Up until that point, it was just fun. But then I really started to focus.
So before that, you were completely self-taught?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. Like I had this book called Ralph Denier's Great Guitar Book, where I learned kind of the theory and modes, but it was a little bit like, because I give guitar lessons now to people, and they said that I kind of know, but it's still a little bit of a mystery. I'm not sure. I know exactly what you mean. I was like that, the day. Then when you know somebody explains you, shows you, gives you exercises, and you go, then it's all of a sudden it's like, the light bulb. You start to fret differently. You start to understand that scales are basically chords are scales, and then it's like learning a language. First you basic and you can get away, but then when you really know the language and start to understand the finenesses, it's a little bit like in music, and then you can, express yourself. At least I can express myself more freely, because I don't necessarily even need to think anymore like scales. I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. What should I do and where should I go? And sometimes I don't even think about it. Yeah, because it's like a second or third language. So,
do you still have like a practicing routine, like an exercise workout?
Not necessarily routine, but I always do the same basic exercises, chromatics, modes before show. Okay. Before, let's say I'm in a studio, I need to record. I spend maybe 30 minutes just getting the and really simple stuff. I think I've done some videos of those too. And that's what I always, just before the hitting the stage, I play Master of Puppets, all downstroke.
Just for right down.
Yeah, if I can do it in the actual tempo, all downstrokes, no stress, then I'm good to go.
Okay, well, it's damn fast, all downstrokes.
Yeah, you need to do a little bit like, it's like, oh fuck, okay, I need to.
Yeah, I feel like the key is just keep it relaxed.
Yeah, relaxed.
I think my chops are quite decent. I'm not the fastest player, but I can like play 99% of. I can play anything when I make like a plan B. You know what I mean? Then I can play. You can give me anything. I'll figure it out. I'll figure a way to play it.
Yeah,
and it's going to sound good.
Yeah, I have a few plan Bs because I've done quite a lot of hired gun jobs and cover shows. Wah-wah is a good plan B. Then a whammy bar is a good plan B. If you don't really, you can always do. Woo!
Yeah, right.
And let's say if I play a cover, let's say some legendary solo, Mr. Crowley. Well, I know that by heart, but I never learned it like exactly note.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but just like the intro, that needs to go to diddly diddly diddly, and then Phrygian stuff, and then you do kind of. And I think it's cool that each player, like Zakk Wylde doesn't play like Randy Rhoads. No, they all have their own.
Like that's not what it's about.
No.
I do these little shorts where on where it's just cover guitar solos basically, and I do it exactly the way you do it. Like I just learn it by ear. And then I just play it, memorized it, and it's not going to be 100%. But then you see the comments like, that's not the way you should play it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
like, yes, it is. I just played like I played. Like, if you want to play differently, yeah, go ahead. I mean, like, I've done Eruption. One thing I need to mention, I'm actually pretty, I take this as a compliment. I did a Van Halen video where I played Eruption. And YouTube algorithm, because usually if you do a cover, it recognizes that and it says that, you know, this is a cover you can use, you can monetize it. But in this case, YouTube said that this recording is from Van Halen's Tokyo Live.
Okay, well.
And I'm like, no, it's not, it's me. But then I listened to Tokyo Live. I was like, fuck me. It's pretty much like, and I didn't mean to. And so I needed to, because I wanted to, they wouldn't let me publish the video. Because it's a cover song. You can't do this.
Is it out on YouTube?
It's out, but I played it purposely a bit wrong.
Okay, so you had to redo it?
Yes.
Oh God.
And then I got comments like it doesn't go like that. Yes, I know. But I wouldn't go into explaining this because people be like, yeah, right. I was like, yeah, I know it's not complete. It's just the way I played. But the original, what I played, and it has happened only once because I wasn't obviously trying to play. I didn't listen to exactly what Eddie played on the Tokyo, some subconscious thing. I just played the way I play, you know, uploading the video. Then it's like, you can't use this. This is the guitar solo from Van Halen's Tokyo Live.
Yeah.
It's not. It's me. It's just noodling. But hey,
I find that most of the feedback you get on YouTube is positive, though. But I mean, sometimes you get dickhead comments like that. But you know, like, okay, that person obviously doesn't know much about music or guitar playing. But most of the stuff, I see it on your channel, your comments, and on my channel as well, is pretty positive, pretty supporting, and and you know, like you said, there's always those people. But I think you're not on TikTok, right?
Themselves, then you know they're you know maybe just wanting to. They're feeling bad and stuff, or then just they don't know. But that because I found that you know, people who talk shit, they don't do shit.
Yeah, right.
So it's.
I'm mentioning this because it's different from social media platform to social media. For example, on TikTok, I don't know if you have a profile there.
No,
I have one, but it's like it's almost useless. Like I don't even know why I upload my videos. Because it seems like there's only like 12-year-old teenagers, and they want to listen to. They just want to see people dance and do, like absolute stupid stuff.
I have YouTube and Instagram. I quit my Facebook too, and I've never been in TikTok, Twitter or anything. I quit that because it was just like fucking bullshit. You know, I'd rather focus on those two because. I don't have time and I don't have. I mean, I open Instagram a couple of times a week when I post something there, but I'm just maybe it's from my generation because I didn't grow up with mobile phones, so.
No, I don't think so. I think it really is a trend to kind of quit Facebook.
Okay.
You know, I'm not an online specialist or anything, but just.
Yeah, and I think maybe
because there's nothing happening on Facebook, you know.
And because I mean I do a lot of things. I'm doing this now. Next I will have actually a guitar lesson after this, and then I'm going to rehearsals. And I don't really. It doesn't occur to me to. Oh, I'm gonna.
Well,
it's something I don't.
Firsthand, we're musicians, and not at least that's how I see myself. Like there used to be this time when I tried to make like 3 or 4 YouTube videos, and I just couldn't manage it because I'm giving lessons as well, and you know playing. And just the way that I edited those videos, it was just too. It just took too long. Like at a certain point, I was like, no, I'm just gonna put a camera right there, gonna speak into that fucking camera, and what comes out is what I'm gonna fucking upload. And that's what I've been doing like for the last couple of months, and that's what works for me. And it doesn't seem to like have a negative influence on the algorithm.
Yeah, 'cause when I started, I because there was COVID and didn't have much else to do. I put more, but now I've been kind of doing 2 videos a week, and I don't like I film them when I have time. Like I have videos now going out the next 3 weeks, but I filmed those like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not there yet, but that's what I want to work to.
Yeah, and then because I am now on tour, I don't have a camera with me. I don't. So that's what I did, and now I just enjoy my friend's company, play music, and put they will be published, couple of times a week. And the funny thing, what I also noticed that sometimes I paid like really plan out the video and then it was like okay, but then sometimes when I just like you said, put a camera on, noodle something up, and you think what a shitty video, and then people are like, it's like
well, it's more about the content. I think it's not about how pretty and how well it is edited, and it's about being honest, and I think the people want to see that you are real, and that's what we see. What you are doing is it really feels. You can feel that the stuff you're doing is just it's authentic, it's legit.
And I leave the mistakes. I leave usually.
I don't even hear that many mistakes. Like I can't even remember any.
At least and sometimes I'm laughing like, fucking hell, that was bad. But I usually like the idea is that when I do those intro songs, that's the first take. Obviously, I play it a few times, and then, well, if I completely mess up something, I do it again. But I'm just playing, and then sometimes when I laugh, I'm mostly laughing myself. What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
But I think that's also at least people have commented that they like that. It's not,
sure, of course.
Because I mean, I've watched sometimes some YouTube videos, and I'm like, the camera angle is changing, and it's like, and then I see the fingers, like, you can maybe fool 90% of people, but that's not live. And I'm not going to say it's bad, it's whatever. If you want to do a music video, you do
course.
it.
Sure.
But sometimes it's funny that some people are pretending to actually play, but it's not. And I don't care. It's whatever is fine. But my approach is that I'm when I film myself or record those songs, I'm actually recording the audio at the same time, and whatever comes, that is there. Unless if I really fucked up. So sometimes I those two because I just thought that's funny.
Same for me. I know what you mean.
I commented that, hey, wow, you left that mistake there. Much appreciate that. You can show you're human too. I'm like, dude, I'm very human. We all make this. I played probably 3,000 live shows or whatever. So I don't think I've ever played a live show where I haven't laughed myself. What the fuck was that?
Okay.
like it's just the way it is.
Good for you. Somebody said once to me, it's like once you played like 1,000 shows, then it doesn't make any difference anymore. Like then I guess what he was trying to say, he doesn't. There's no change happening inside of him anymore. Like he's so routined that it just became so normal. It wouldn't make a difference if it's 10,000 shows or 20,000 shows. After a certain point, there was no, I don't know.
I think
nothing happening anymore for him.
But my I always feel the butterflies. I always
me too.
It's like because I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If you don't, sometimes I like whatever, and it's a bad show. But if you feel you're excited, it's that hasn't changed. It's always as exciting. What has changed is that it's the same show whether there's 10,000 people or 10 people.
Okay.
The is the same, and you always give your best. Luckily, I haven't played in front of 10 people in years. More like 1,000 or last summer the audiences were, I think, 20,000. But it doesn't matter. It's still you're playing to those persons.
Because it's about the music, right? So would you say is that something that has changed, like in the past when you did play in front of a few people? It has happened to me. I think it has happened to every musician, almost every musician, that you have a show and there's only like 30 people coming, and you feel just so demotivated and like, oh, fuck, why am I even playing this show? Like, I'm just being honest.
Yeah, sometimes, but then you think that, well, the fuck am I whining? Those 30 people have paid. I'm going to give them the best fucking show ever. Yeah. And sometimes those shows where you feel like, oh, what a fucking shit.
A great show, yeah.
You had worse traveling, and you like last winter we did a show with Cyhra. We drove like 600 kilometers. We were late a couple of hours. We had a car accident. We come to the show, people are there. Some have already left because it was after midnight. And it was like, oh, fucking hell. We just put the stuff in, started to play, no soundcheck, whatever. It was one of the best shows ever. People were like, man, you made it. Yeah, we made it. And because we were like, oh, fucking hell. But then it was just like, there was maybe 50 people because most of them thought that, okay, it's canceled because we were going to make it, and we called to the venue. Yeah, you were coming. Are you sure, guys? The show should have started 2 hours ago. Yes, just tell people to drink more. We'll be there. We're going to fucking play this show. We did it, and it was awesome. But what has changed is that I remember, then when you get in front of a really big audience like festival, like, oh, hell, oh. But now it's not. It's a show, and you always, it doesn't matter if there's 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 people.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so there is a kind of numbing down when it comes to playing in front of big audiences.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of getting used to it.
I feel that I'm probably have more butterflies when it's a small club show, because people are really there and they can really see and hear. But then when you're playing on a big festival or some ice hall, I mean, first the audience could be like 50 meters away from you because there's all the barriers and stuff.
Yeah.
And my side is not what it used to be. So sometimes like and then it's more like you feel like you're playing in your own bubble, especially with ears. But then intimate club shows where people are really here, it's like, okay, they're hearing me better. When that's not the case, they will hear you well on the big stage too, because there's bigger PA. But it's more of a mental thing that
I mean, just physically there is a bigger distance because you have that what do you call that? Just this big gap.
Just the barriers.
Yeah, the barrier.
Yeah.
So just physically, there is a bigger distance when playing a club show.
Yeah, and for some reason it feels like I don't know, but small club shows, which I love doing, because sometimes those are really nice and intimate. Like that Cyhra show, people went nuts. You actually came, and it was a small club, but it was just the audience was like here, like, hey. Would you mind not spilling beer on my pedal board? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's just fun.
I just had this idea to, like, maybe once a month just talk to guitar players or musicians that that just inspire me personally. That's just something when I go to your channel, Instagram or whatever, and I see you playing. That makes me want to pick up my guitar and play.
Oh well, thank you. Really, really, really glad to hear. It's always nice to. It makes me feel such a good. Like when we played, I need to tell this about what you just said. So when we played I think we played in Stockholm a few months ago on our Scandinavian tour with Evergrey with Cyhra. So Soilworks, original guitarist was there. he hasn't played in a long time. He's not in the band anymore. He came us after the show that, guys, your show, Euge and Markus, what you just did makes me want to play guitar. So I'm going to go home and play guitar because that was so inspiring. I was like, wow. Because it's a great feeling. I was at the Extreme show last year in Switzerland. What a fucking show. You know, Bedford. And I came home. I told my wife that, is it okay, but that I'm not going to, you know, I need to play. So I practiced a couple of hours. I was just so inspired by Nuno playing the effortless. And I felt like, oh man, I need to, you know.
I know what you mean.
Inspiring. Yeah. I just played a few hours like Extreme songs and tried to learn what he did on the show and whatnot. And that is a great feeling when you get that, and to hear that you have, you know, influenced some other players like that with your own playing. Because sometimes it feels like, I don't know, fuck, does anybody even care?
No, people do care. So
yeah, but that is, thank you. It feels really, 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 really nice, because obviously we all have our, you know, I was inspired by, you know, you were inspired by me, the soil work. It's just like nice thing to get. And sometimes I get inspired and learn from my students.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've noticed that it doesn't matter what level they are.
Yeah.
There's always something to learn. And sometimes I'm like, what did you just show me? What like, I was like, am I showing you something? Yes. Yeah, well, that was cool. Okay, let's work on that. And sometimes I've been like, you know what? I'm not sure. I think I should pay you for this lesson. Not the other way around.
Yeah, but, I know what you mean. That has happened to me too. Because
there's always so much to learn from different players.
And it never ends, you know.
It never ends. Yeah. It never ends. I mean, I think that if you, me, or if you feel that, yeah, I'm done, I'm the greatest, then you're not even close.
Yeah, there's something. I think there's something wrong.
The more you learn, the more you learn that you don't know a shit.
I mean, there's a difference. You can say like, okay, I'm finished for myself. Like I've learned my trade. I know I could get better, but I don't want to. It's like I'm fine with what I can do. Like that's one person, but then the other person who's like, okay, I can't get any better. I've learned everything. Like there is no, okay, there's something wrong here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. And I feel you, because I can pretty much play, you know, what I want, what I hear. Yeah. But there's still stuff that, what was that? That was really cool. I wanna incorporate that. And like a few months ago, my friend showed me, he played this pentatonic stuff, but it was something I've never considered, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, like this third. And I was like, fucking cool. I need to. And I you know, took that as my, because we all have our backup flicks and tricks, what we do, and that's become one of my, like I was like, fuck, after 25 years, because there's always so much.
You know what you could do? I have an idea for a video. Like make like 5 signature Euge Valovirta licks. Like that would be really interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I've kind of covered a little bit that, because I've done the pentatonic kind of stuff to break out from your normal pentatonic. So I pretty much play what I usually play, because I mix a lot of. But that's actually good thing, because there is some signature licks that actually a friend of mine pointed out, because he was helping me to transcribe the Harthold solo album, because he released a chapbook, and he pointed out that, you know, there's this 4 or 5 things that keeps repeating in little bit different forms. And I was like, yeah, you're actually right. And he was like, those are kind of your signature licks. I was like, do I have signature licks? I think these are just both from Randy Rhoads and already. But yeah, there's that. But check out, listen. Then I was like, oh, Yeah, I think I do have those. I mean, and then sometimes you play, you realize, oh, fuck, I played that signature lick again. I want to do something else.
Yeah.
But I still have. But it's a great idea. I need to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for the little chat.
Thank you. Likewise. Cool.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.